And I just realised I'm muted, so what a fantastic start. Hello and welcome to a brand new Save My Movies, the show in which we live in a parallel universe in which we can only save 3 movies of the day's given topic. Now, for the first time, I am not joined by one co-host. I have two because it's a topic we're all really interested in, and I think we're going to have a lot of opinions on this one. And I really, really have no idea what will be saved. But today we're talking the Cape Crusader himself, Batman. So we have all picked our 3 movies that we want to save based on the live action Batman films. Obviously, there is a limited number to this one. So I have already put all of the films we'll be debating on our discussion list, and we're going to whittle them down one by one and hopefully agree on a 3. But I think it's going to be quite difficult today. So I'm Liam. This is the show that I came up with, Save My Movies. We hope you enjoy. We've already done video games and we started off with Pixar. They're on the channel, so go check them out if you haven't seen them yet. But today we are doing Batman and I'm really excited to get going. And I am joined by Matt to my right. How you doing, Matt?
Well, I'm great. I cannot wait for this show. This is my first appearance on this show. I really wanted to be on both previous ones, but I couldn't. Time and other things, unfortunately. But I think this is going to be a fun one. Probably we
Yes.
won't agree on anything, and this will probably be the longest Say My Movies
Yeah,
up
it's
to
also
date.
the first time I'm doing this with 2 co-hosts, so it's going to be even harder to pick the 3. So we're going to have to see how this goes. As ever, I do not know what Matt or Ben has picked. They don't know what I've picked. I have some ideas as to what might be on their list, but I really have no clue. So we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully, we're in agreement on at least one of them, so it doesn't take 4 hours to get through this video. But we're going to see how it goes. I'm also joined by the lovely Ben, who is below me at the moment. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm good, thanks. Enjoying this series and really loving being on it. So,
And of course, it wouldn't be Ben without the star cruisers in the background, and that's what we love about
yeah, I'm
Ben's.
sorry.
They're so good. When Star Wars comes on, you're going to be needed for that show because you got the Star Cruiser for the background. But without further ado, I think let's just get started now. As you can see, I've put all the films we'll be discussing today on the list. Just a little preempt before we get started. I did make an agreement with Matt and Ben that would only be focusing on films where Batman is the main title character. So that excludes films like Justice League, Suicide Squad, The Joker, the one from couple years ago with Joaquin Phoenix. I think if that was allowed, then it may have been I probably may have picked that one. So I was like, I need to make it a bit easier and not have that on the list. So we're only talking films where Batman is the lead in the title, hence the list we have up on the screen now. And we also only counted live action movies, but we did throw in Lego Batman as we thought that should also be counted. Now, I have some assumptions, and I'm going to assume there's a few on here we can immediately put in forgotten. And if you
No,
disagree, then you've got some serious issues. So can I
no,
just have a guess that Batman and Robin, we all agree, needs to go on forgotten? Is that
no,
fine?
no,
No, that's on someone's list.
Are we joking?
no.
Are we joking?
Leave it
Someone has
here.
Batman and Robin on the list.
Yes.
Oh my god, this is not going to end. I thought that could be an easy pull. What is happening?
I know one
The
that you
show
can
is
put in. You can
finished.
put Lego Batman in the forgotten.
Yeah, you can put Lego Batman.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let's
I
start this again.
just want to get rid of
Batman
that one.
1966, the Adam West. I'm assuming it's not on anyone's list. It's
Yes.
not on my list. Matt, is it on your list?
No.
Ben?
No.
Oh, okay. That's at least something then. We can move Batman over to the forgotten list, which is some start. I feel like this is going to be a really long show. How has someone got Batman and Robin on their list? I cannot believe it. Okay. There's a few other assumptions I'm going to make here. I don't have Batman Forever. I don't think it's quite a fun movie and it's very campy and I don't hate it, but it's not on my list. Is it on either of your lists? Oh,
Yes.
oh God. Okay, this is going to take so long. Okay. I
This
think
is
there's
going to be
nothing
so
else on
fun.
there that I think won't be on someone else's list. So we're gonna have to just.
Yes.
The only one we
Oh
can
my word.
immediately remove is Batman
Do
1966.
you have Lego Batman on your
Do you
list?
have Lego Batman on your list?
Who knows?
Oh,
So the way this show works is we start with our honorable mentions. Everyone has 3 films they want on their list and 1 honorable mention. As I am the first one on the screen today, I'm going to start with my honorable mention. Please let me know if it is on your list. If it is one of your 3, then we're going to save talking about it for the time being, and we'll come back to it when you go to the 3. The first one I have as the film I have as my honorable mention is Man Returns. Do either of you have that as one of your 3 or an honorable mention?
No.
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 And Ben?
No.
No. Okay, so that means we talk about it. So for me, I had this as one of my 3, and I swapped it out just before filming to a different movie, which we'll get to later. For me, this is I prefer out. I didn't want to just all go for one franchise and director, so I thought I'd throw in a different one from one of the Tim Burtons. I like both Tim Burton movies, and I prefer Batman Returns to the original Batman, the 1989 version. I think the only reason it's not in my top 3 list is because it fails to focus on Batman, but it does do a really good character analysis of the villains. Now, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is iconic. I think at the time everyone had posters of her on their wall, and it was for the first take we saw really of a sort of different vibe of Catwoman. I like the vibe of it being set at Christmas and seeing Gotham in that way. You also have it's very campy, but I kind of like that, and it's very very Tim Burton-y. Danny DeVito as the Penguin is really strange, but he I kind of like the way he looks, and it's not my favorite film in the Batman franchise, but for me it does deserve to have an honorable mention. Now I'm conscious neither of you have it on your list, so it's a good chance it's going to be forgotten, and I'm okay with that. But we're going to just keep it on discussion for a while, and I'm now going to pass to Matt. What is your honorable mention?
Yeah, I will just say first, I think we will have to do some soul searching because I think that the third movie will be the hardest to pick because I think that we all will have the different ones. So, but my honorable mention is Batman versus Superman, of course, Snyder Cut, because we agree that Snyder Cut does count if the movie is in
Okay.
the honorable mention. So, does any of you have that movie in your top 3?
I don't have
No.
the Snyder Cut, but I have the original. Can you count that as?
Oh, the show's in
Yeah.
chaos.
Okay, so
Okay.
I think we can count that as a one whole.
Yes,
So-
I agree. Regardless of what take is your favorite, let's just have it as Batman v Superman. So Matt, kick us. Actually, Ben, is it one of your top 3?
No, honorable mention.
It's your honorable mention. Okay, so it's both of your honorable mentions. Matt, why don't you kick us off about why it's on your honorable mention list?
Yeah, for me, this is my childhood dream. I will be honest. When I grew up, I watched Batman vs Superman animated version like 35 times, and I liked, to be fair, on how the movie showed the Superman in not that good of a light, to be fair, because Superman is always shown as a big hero that can do nothing wrong. And then you have the contrast in the movie that shows that, yeah, Superman fought with Zod and it destroyed half the cities. Like, it completely destroyed the people's lives. Like that those superhero fights does have the consequences for the ordinary people. I think that in all the superhero genre, we didn't have until Civil War, of course, we didn't have like the theme of what happens to the ordinary people when we fight, like when the superheroes fight. Like uh, someone is thrown into the building and building like cuts in half. Well, someone lived in that building, I assume, and that's a big problem. Like, so I like that part of the character development. I also like how they showed that uh, Bruce Wayne isn't only just the money; he's on also the brains, because he beat Superman. Actually, to be fair, he did beat him like with the kryptonite suit, right? And it's only because he thought about Superman and how to beat him. Like, okay, he had the money to buy the kryptonite and made the suit, but he had to think about what he can do to beat Superman and stuff like that. Because don't forget, Batman doesn't have any superpowers. Like, he's just a man. And
He's rich.
I will just say, and I know people will hate me for this, I do prefer. Uh, I like Affleck's Batman. I know people doesn't, but I do. I think he did a good job
I
as a
do.
Batman,
I
I
agree
and
with
like
you.
him
He's
as
a
well.
great Batman. He was
and
good in that role.
yeah, and I liked how he actually saw the glimpses of Flash and set up for the Justice League in that movie as well.
Oh,
So so
sorry.
I
So
like
I
that,
hated
and
that bit. Hated that bit.
I will admit they could do, for example, Lex Luthor a little better in that movie.
mhm.
Oh, so
Uh,
irritating.
and Martha line wasn't the best,
Oh, don't go. Oh my God, still not over
Okay,
it.
but
okay.
it is
I will defend that when
a
it's
good
my turn.
movie. Like, for me, the character development and the action in that movie is pretty good.
Okay,
So uh,
Ben, I will
purely
pass over to you in a sec, but there are some good scenes. Like the warehouse scene is one of the best Batman fight scenes I've ever seen. I will
yes,
give you that. It's amazing. I really like the start when you see the aftermath from Man of Steel, which you alluded to. Really good. Martha, horrific, awful. What it like? I remember first time watching it, super excited, being like, "Are you joking me? Why would you? What the hell? It's dumb, 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 dumb." Ben, you want to defend that? Please do.
Yes, I do, because, and this is something that I enjoyed watching a guy called Cinema Wins, and he actually made a brilliant argument on this, where he said it's not the fact that they both called Martha, it's the fact that Superman is saying protect this human, rather than saying, because before that he just saw him as a monster. When he said protect Martha, that's when it wasn't just okay, it's Martha Wayne and Martha Kent. It was more like, I'm seeing this guy as a human, and that's how I took it as well. Was not like, oh, it's Martha and Martha, because you could have said any name. It was just the coincidence was cool, but for me it was like, okay. He said like a lot of critics and audience shut their brains off at that point, and I completely agree, because he's seeing this person more as a human, or more for his human characteristics than he is for, okay, he's a complete monster and I need to stop him.
Mm. I think okay. Regardless of the Martha thing, I think the other big issue I have is it's called Batman v Superman, and it's partly the trailer's fault. But literally in the second trailer, you see them fighting together with Wonder Woman in the film
Okay,
called Batman v Superman. And although they have a good fight, which is ended horrifically with the Martha thing, they then
yeah,
team up, and the whole final act I think is pretty poor. Hate the CGI
yeah.
villain. I can't remember his name.
It's now you're asking
Movie
that. I know
trivia
it.
time.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll move on. But yeah,
we are
he,
not good at movie
yeah,
trivia. Yeah, we know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
it
So,
doesn't matter.
look. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's it's on my honorable mentions because it's not my favorite Batman movie. My major issue with that is mainly Batman being as violent as he was in that movie, especially him with a gun. Like, in all the Batman that I know back in the 40s or whatever, he used to shoot people with guns. But for the duration that I've known Batman, he hates guns. He hates using guns. There's even another animated movie where he has a suit that deflects bullets and it accidentally hits a criminal, and he feels really bad about that. And that's the Batman that I know. So that would be my only major critique about Batman v Superman, that he's like throwing people into walls and breaking their heads open and uh, shooting
But
them with guns. And it's like, this isn't my
yeah,
Batman. But that would be
I
my
get
only
it.
critique
But
about
I
it.
think
just so you
I
know,
think we
that
better move.
that is a proper Batman in the comics. Like he does hurt
Yeah,
people quite a
he
lot.
does hurt them. He hurts them, but he doesn't like break their heads open and
Okay,
kill them. Like that's the
I'm
whole
gonna-
crux of the Injustice games and comics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull rank here, guys, because we're 15 minutes in and we've only done 2 honourable mentions. So I'm gonna move on from Batman v Superman. It's on the list. It's something to discuss. Ben, we need to get to your honourable mention now. What is your honourable mention?
We've already mentioned it.
Oh, sorry. Of course, it's also Batman v Superman. So let's reverse it and go from Ben back up. So Ben, what is your number 3 pick?
The Dark Knight.
Okay, that's on my list and it's higher. Is it on your list, Matt?
It is on my list, and it's the most highest it can be.
Okay. We have an agreement. It's on all of
Yes.
our lists. It goes straight to saved, so that's good to know. That's one on. That's going to save us at least an hour. That's a relief. Okay. So Ben, it's your number 3. It's my number 1. I think it's Matt's number 1 as well. Ben,
Yes,
you
yes.
brought it up first. So why was Dark Knight on your list?
Sure. Heath Ledger's Joker is good in this. It actually shows again, but as Matt mentioned it for Batman v Superman, it actually shows Batman thinking, which I kind of liked. With him swapping with Harvey Dent and so on, and yeah, and then with him, then like the movie was just good. I like the his emotions for the girl. I forget her name because I'm really bad at that. But yeah, he definitely shows some emotion, and I I got to be honest, it was good. I like the Batman in this movie, and yeah.
Matt, what was your reasons for picking Dark Knight?
Okay, so for me, this is the perfect Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we will have better Batman movie maybe ever. For me, uh, Christian Bale managed to do the most important thing for me as a Batman, and I think that Keaton did that thing as good as well, and that's when I watched the movie, I can clearly see that there is one character that is Bruce Wayne. Then there is other character that is Bruce Wayne with Alfred, and then it's the third character that is Batman.
Mm.
So whoever plays Batman needs to be able to play three characters at
Mm.
once, and Christian Bale did that. So when he had that bat suit on and it was in the action, he was one person. When he was in the public eye, he was the second person. And when he was the with Alfred and could also like just relax a little, uh, he was the third person, right? Uh, then you have the best villain Batman had in Joker. The best for me, it's the best. And I did saw the new Batman, and I still think that Heath Ledger. I know people say now that Enigma is better, but for me, the Heath Ledger is still the best villain we had. I do think that it's a little bit a recency bias, but that performance of Heath Ledger is it was really menacing and on proper psychotic sociopathic way. Like it was great
Mhm.
for me. Also, Harvey Dent as a Two-Face did a good job. It was certainly better than the Two-Face I saw previously.
Yes.
Uh, I also like the Alfred part as well. Uh, I just loved the movie. Like all the action was good, all the dialogue was phenomenal. There is
Yeah.
some memorable moments like the head in on the pencil, uh, and famously the Batman talking with with the Joker when he got arrested. Uh,
The interrogation scene.
yes,
Um,
so
yeah,
I
I
have only
agree
the
with
good
basically
words
what you
about
said.
this movie. I also do like very much Christopher Nolan as a director,
Hmm.
so I like the style of the movie as well. So for me, I was prepared to fight for this movie if
It's okay. If it's an
yeah.
automatic save, and this was my assumption would be that everyone picked this, so I'm pleased that I was right in that assumption. I would have been disappointed if someone didn't. This for me is the best Batman film of all time.
Yes.
It has the best performance of a villain in any movie ever, in my opinion. Not even just a comic book movie, not even just a Batman movie, like ever. The performance of Heath Ledger in this is unbelievable, absolutely deserving of his Oscar win for it. But it's not just Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, so many iconic moments. Why is it like it was a pop culture reference and still is referenced today? That's how iconic his performance was. Why so serious? Like, let's put a smile on their face. So many iconic lines and moments. The opening scene with the bus and the robbery and the bank heist and the everyone wearing the mask to be revealed to the Joker. It's just perfection. And I think I love the world that Christopher Nolan built in Batman Begins, but he took that world and then added in Heath Ledger's Joker and Harvey Dent's Two-Face and just made the world like such a compelling movie. I love the supporting cast as well, like Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, Michael Caine as Alfred, Christian Bale as Batman is like does both Bruce Wayne and Batman better than anyone else I've watched in cinema in terms of Batman. Morgan Freeman, just the cast around him works really well for me. And you get to see him be a detective, and he's just as good as Bruce Wayne as he is as Batman. So I'm so pleased this was an easy pick for everyone, and that it's on everyone's list. And The Dark Knight is saved, and that was the one I would have fought most for. So I'm glad I can save some energy for some of my other picks now. But that being said, okay, that was Ben's number 3 and mine and Matt's number 1, which means we now go to Matt. And what is your number 3, Matt?
Batman versus Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Oh my god! Right, Ben, is it on your list?
No.
Thank God for that. Right, before I rip you to shreds, can you just explain why this absolute
Yes.
pile of turd is on your list?
Okay. There is two reasons, right? The first reason is purely personal. That's my
Okay.
childhood. Like that
Okay.
movie is literally my childhood, and I don't want to get rid of that movie purely on emotion, right? And the second
Yeah.
thing is I call that Bully Maguire phenomenal. So that movie is so bad that from that movie I got so many good memes and so many good videos and so many good clips. I laughed my ass off. uh, so when I prepared for this show and I watched the movie, this movie was so bad that I enjoyed that movie
Oh God.
so much. Like it's literally like I watched Spider-Man 3, like the original trilogy, right? When that Bully Maguire is so bad that I so enjoy that stuff, right?
Yeah, I love
So
it too, but this
and
is something else.
this movie is so freaking bad that like uh Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze with his great accent in that movie. I laughed every time. Like it's. I'm not saying here that movie is great. I'm saying that movie is so bad that it made full circle and then made it.
Right.
It's so awful that it's good. And
It's
and
like the
and
room.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really don't want that movie to be deleted from history because it was my childhood. And if that movie is deleted, there is so many good memes will be deleted with that movie as well. So when I look at the bigger picture, no, I cannot delete this movie because so much enjoyment will be gone from the world. And that is my main argument for this movie. And
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Now you've explained it, I kind of understand where you're coming from. It's the Bully Maguire effect. You know, it's so bad, it's funny. For me, like I have not come round full circle. I just think it's absolutely trash. Like I will happily sit and watch YouTube compilation videos of like the funniest cringy moments from Batman and Robin all day long. Like that I can do. To sit and watch it, I can't get through 20 minutes. Like I get to 20 minutes and I can't finish it. It's that bad. I can't sit and watch it. I can happily watch clips because it is funny. Like it's so bad it's funny. But to watch as a movie, I can't do it. Like it's so hard to get through.
I'm
It's
so
it's
But
so
sad.
Liam,
hard to get through.
Liam,
If we had our
it's ice
prediction
to
league,
see you.
Oh God, it's making me feel sick.
if we had our prediction league, up and running, this would be my punishment for you this year. You would have to
Oh my God,
make an
I
essay
can't.
on why Batman and Robin is the best Batman movie, right?
I do understand your argument because I love Bully Maguire. Like Spider-Man 3 is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies, even though I know it's probably one of the weakest because of that very reason you're explaining, like the whole like dancing stuff and you know that stuff. I love it, but I haven't come round with it on this. I just think it's boring and like stupid.
Yeah, and that's
Ben,
that's
if
why
you,
it's
Ben, what are your
that's why it's
thoughts?
third. Just that's to be fair. That's why it's
Okay,
third.
well, I will be absolutely gutted if this is one of the saved, and I don't think it will be, so I'm happy about that. But Ben, what are your thoughts on this movie?
I like the puns, but that's about it, to be honest with you.
That's all it has
Uh,
going for it, though, isn't it? Let's be real.
I mean,
Yeah.
there is one part that I really enjoy, which is kind of like a reference where they land on I don't know where they land, but the Batman and Robin go to this island, and you hear Robin go, "Holy steel, Batman!" And it's like a reference to the old 1960s Robin, which I got to be honest, kind of popped me and made me laugh. So that was my biggest laugh of the movie. But yeah,
I mean, this
uh,
movie almost
I
destroyed
don't.
Batman, right? It took
Yeah,
Batman Begins and Nolan to save it again. Like it ruined the
um,
whole franchise for years.
I disagree. It nearly destroyed live action Batman.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah, I know that was good animated, but it took a different take and realization with Begins to get back from that. It basically killed live action Batman for years. So I cannot justify that being saved, but we'll have to see what happens. Let's move on. It's now my number three, and I think I know you two have guessed it, and I don't think you're keen on it, but my number three is the Lego Batman movie, and I don't think it's on either of your list. Am I wrong?
No,
No. Ben, is it on yours?
no.
Okay. I'm going to say why it's on my list. So not only is this movie really funny, charming, and like just a fun Lego movie, when I like the franchise, I think the first Lego, I think they're all quite funny, nice movies. It is such a good insight into Bruce Wayne's psychology wrapped up in a Lego movie. It is one of the best takes looking actually into the backstory of Bruce Wayne and Batman and the turmoil he is facing, even though it's done in a Batman movie. Like it genuinely has I don't know if there's a better movie that actually looks at like Bruce Wayne and the issues he's struggling through. And although it's done through a comedic lens via the Lego sort of way of doing it, it actually explores Bruce Wayne so well, and like, you know, what his role is. You know, I also love some of the interactions with Alfred, like the scene when he's going through, oh, you've been in this state before, and then he goes through all the previous movies is really funny. Granted, the ending is a bit wacky and it has Voldemort and other franchises in it. I get that. And I know it's not a purely Batman film, it's also a Lego movie, but it's so fun. Like, I had so much fun watching this movie, and I'd much rather watch that again than a lot of the other ones on this list. It's such an easy put on. Like, there are technically better made movies on this list. I will grant you that. But I can't say I would choose maybe sort of any of those six on there over this one,
I
because
have a
it is just
question.
that much fun.
I have a question for Ben. Ben, do you prefer Batman and Robin or Lego Batman?
Batman and Robin.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
I
you're both
agree.
crazy. You're both insane.
I'm
Right.
sorry. The Lego Batman to me is just not a Batman movie. It's a Lego movie. It's
Yeah,
just
you
Have you
said it,
watched Lego
Liam.
Batman?
No, you said it the best, Liam. When you put Voldemort in a Batman movie, I just
Yeah,
turned
no,
off.
granted. Before that, before like the final act, when all the other villains from the different franchises has come in, and it's also a little strange because Ralph Fiennes plays Alfred, yet he doesn't play Voldemort. But beside that, the first act, it explores Bruce Wayne and Batman better than like the majority of the other movies on this list. So you can't say it's not a Batman movie. It explores it more
It
than most of
is.
the
I
others
just
on the
don't
list.
want it on the list.
like I would argue that in Batman and Robin you still get that interaction with Batman and Alfred, which has more of an emotional impact for me than
Yes.
any of the Lego Batman scenes did.
Okay,
So
clearly, I'm probably not going to win on this, and I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to probably just have to admit to myself that that one won't be saved, and I'm okay with that. But let's move on. Matt, you can start us off this time. What was your
yeah,
number two?
my number 2 is Batman Begins.
Okay, Ben, is it on your list?
Number two too.
It's my number two.
Actually, I have it as my number one. Sorry.
Oh,
My
okay,
mistake. I
cool.
saw
It is. I'm
Yay!
so pleased about that. Yeah, it's also my number two. So we have another saved movie. I think I was kind of half expecting The Dark Knight and the Batman Begins to be on there. It's going to be that final one, which I think we're going to struggle with.
Can you
Okay, we have two
press
saved.
enter on
Matt, you kick this off. So tell us why you like Batman Begins.
Well, yeah, Batman Begins. It's the best. Okay, for me, it's the second best origin story in a comic book ever. I really liked it. Again, I like the villains. I would say that Scarecrow is not an easy villain to get right, and not to like make it funny or stuff like that. And they made it very good. Scarecrow. I was very very skeptical when I heard that Scarecrow is going to be on uh, in this movie. He was good. Also, all the things with tying up with the Bruce Wayne's backstory in that movie with Ra's al Ghul and uh, going into the DC lore in general. I like that. Uh, the scenes where Bruce Wayne is training were perfection. Also, I am very sad that Nolan trilogy ended because I would love to see, for example, Batman as leader of League of Shadows. I think that could be done, for example, in the Nolan trilogy, and that was a good setup for me in the Nolan verse. I call it Nolan verse. And yeah, I just love this movie. I know that some people say that's their favorite Batman movie. Mm, but it really is good. And if we didn't had that good of a first Batman movie, Dark Knight wouldn't be as good. It would be great, but all the setup for the Dark Knight is in this movie. So for that
Mm,
reason as well,
mm.
it's on my list.
Yeah, really, really good take. I alluded to why I like this franchise so much. I very nearly picked all three Nolans as my save movies. I was very
Yeah.
close, but I decided not to pick Dark Knight Rises because I think there's too many issues in that film to warrant having it as all three. But um, instead, I went for Lego Batman. But yeah, the Batman Begins. Nolan had such a difficult task to get this film even made because of the shit show, which was Batman and Robin that came before it. I think to even have a take which Warner Brothers would be like, yeah, okay, let's do that. Like, and then to come out with what he did, which was essentially like a masterpiece origin story, but we hadn't really seen in the Batman franchise before.
Yes.
It was so well done. I said about the supporting cast, which were introduced in this movie, and I really enjoyed them. Also had Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, and the whole twist with that, with him ended up, spoiler up, being the villain. I really, really enjoyed. Gotham was a really big part of this film as well, and I really loved the world that Nolan created. And obviously, Gotham plays a major part in the final act with the bombs and things. And really great casting to have Christian Bale. We already went through that in the when we talk about Dark Knight, but it's just such an entertaining watch. I really, really enjoy Nolan's take in the whole franchise. I do think, just very quickly about Rises, I think he did the best of what he could with obviously the passing of Heath Ledger. He was originally going to have a role in that movie, and I wonder what it would have turned out to be had he been in it. But back to the origin, and it's set up, like you alluded to, Matt, really well. Dark Knight. There's the little Joker tease at the end, which got us comic book film fans really excited, knowing that he's going to be coming. And Scarecrow is freaking scary in this. Like, the whole hallucination stuff freaked me right out when I first watched
Yeah.
this. It was super dark, and I just really enjoyed that because, beforehand, like, it was quite campy. We had come from the Batman and Robin era of fleas, like absolute nonsense, to then this quite psychotic and scary villain called Scarecrow. Like, you'd think that would be campy, but he made it realistic, and he put it in a realistic sort of way. It's really, really enjoyable. So I'm really pleased that other people pick Batman Begins because I think it can often be overlooked. So it's saved. Ben, what was your take on Begins?
Sorry, please ignore my dogs. But yes, my take on this one was, to me, the reason why it's perfect is because why it's my number one is because it has the awesome twist of Raj Al Ghul. Liam Neeson in that is a perfect casting choice. It has the kind of, it doesn't go with the origin story as Bruce Wayne's parents being killed. Sorry, spoilers, but yes, I think that's pretty much known by everyone. It kind of more goes towards his origin as becoming Batman, which I enjoyed. And even though it was dark, Batman still has heart, which, to be honest with you, Batman v Superman kind of misses out on that, and a lot of these other movies miss out on that. But Batman still has heart. He still has care for the the public of Gotham, which is what Batman is essentially makes Batman so great. And that's why I enjoyed this movie so thoroughly. And I was one of the guys that when I first saw this, I was like, no, the old campy Batman, that's my Batman. But when I saw this, I was like, no, actually, I was wrong. This is a real Batman. But yeah, it that's honestly why I had this as my number one.
Okay, yeah, good choice. I think I've had my three. Matt's had his three. So we're just waiting on your final. I think it's your number two, isn't it, Ben? So what was
It
your
is.
number two pick?
Batman Forever.
Oh, God. Oh, God, guys, you're
And
killing
Guys,
me here.
guys,
And
I will tell
Killing
you this.
me.
Do you know
I'm
how
gonna-
are we going? I don't know how we are going to agree on that third spot.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's let Ben tell us why Batman Forever was his number two
the
pick.
reason why Batman Forever is my number two pick, and yes, it has the most egregious problem of all Batman's bat nipples. But yes, it is. For me, as Matt said, that was Batman and Robin was his childhood. Batman Forever was my childhood. That was my first introduction to Batman as a kid. I, I I got the Batman Forever book alongside it, which was my first ever like movie alongside book that I got. So for me, this is more of an emotional pick than a. It's a good movie, but also I think this is the one with, if I remember, Jim Carrey as Enigma,
The Riddler.
Yes.
Yeah.
and even though he's not the best Enigma, because Enigma's more smart than that, he still kind of brings across that psycho bad guy, with which I think he's probably the best of the campy Batman villains, I would say.
I'd agree with that.
I'm so happy. Now there is a
Out of
chance
all of the
Batman and Robin are going to be saved with this pick. Yay!
No, they are not. They are not. They are not. Just very quickly on Batman Forever, I will say out of all the campy ones, it's probably my favorite. I don't hate Batman Forever at all. I think it's okay. I like Jim Carrey's very campy performance as the Riddler. I think Tommy Lee Jones is doing his best Jack Nicholson impression as Two-Face and is not very original in his take in it because he's basically playing the Joker from the Tim Burton one.
Yes.
But it's okay. Like I remember enjoying it as a kid much more than I did Batman and Robin. And if we have to pick one out of them two, I would definitely be fighting for Forever over Robin. But I cannot believe one of them might be making this list. Matt, just quickly before we move on, what are your thoughts on Batman Forever?
Okay, so the only good part of that movie for me is Jim Carrey.
Fair. Okay.
That's it.
All right, fair enough. So what I want to do now is because
And
I didn't know what was going to be on people's
just to
list.
say this, I hate Two-Face in that movie. It's literally what you said. It's literally trying to be a Joker. You are not a Joker. You are a different villain. I know you look the same, like with the Two-Face. You look like a lot
Yeah.
like the Joker, but you are not the Joker. Please have your own character. I hate
I
in
agree.
movies when the scripts or the actors try to do that. Like you have the iconic villain, and then you want to make your own character, just borrow someone else's work. I don't like that. Like it's very very off-putting for me. The Two-Face is the biggest reason I cannot pick this movie. Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is I just want very, very quick one sentence or two. We're going to go through the ones that were not picked by anyone. I just want a quick one sentence reason. If you haven't seen it, then don't worry, we'll just skip. But why you did not pick that film, because there are some good films left on that list that didn't get any votes. So I'll start Batman 1989. I like this film. I enjoy it a lot. I think Jack Nicholson's very good in it. But for me, I prefer Batman Returns out of the Tim Burton movies. And I don't think it's aged very well. I think at the time it was good, but I think watching it now, I have more enjoyment from the other films that I picked, which was why I did not pick that one. Matt, why didn't you pick Batman 1989?
It would be my second. It would be my second honorable mention.
Okay.
If I had the second one, so it barely didn't make the cut.
So,
but
yeah, it's a good movie, isn't it? It's just we only had
yes,
3. So
yes.
Ben, why did you not pick Batman 99? Just very quickly.
I'm the same. The only reason why Batman Forever beat it out was on an emotional level, to be honest with you.
Okay. Fair enough. Dark Knight Rises. Now, I wanted to pick this because I really love that trilogy, but I have to admit this is the weakest of the 3. As much as I like Bane and I liked the iconic voice, which I was going to attempt to do, but I probably won't because I can't do it very well. Nobody, oh my, no, it's terrible. But I can't. It is by far the weakest of Nolan's 3, in my opinion. I think you barely see Batman for the majority of the film. When he does suit up, he gets his back broken, and then he doesn't suit up for another hour. I like Bane. I don't love the twist of who that real villain is, but I can't. I had to pick something else other than the full Nolan trilogy, so that's why I didn't go for Rises. Ben, why didn't you go for Dark Knight Rises?
Because I haven't actually watched it.
Good answer. Matt, what about you?
I agree with you. It's the weakest of the Nolan 3. And it is still better than all the other movies for me after the Batman 1989. But I just think that movie is living on the glory of previous two. It for me, except Bane, who is a good villain, but it didn't bring anything new to the table. So
okay, fair enough.
And
then there's one here which I'm really surprised you didn't pick. I thought it was a shock that I didn't pick the new. I know, Ben, you haven't seen it, so I won't ask you. But the newest Batman, the Robert Pattinson one that's only just come out. At this point, I have only watched it once. I didn't love it. I thought it was fine. People were raving about this Batman film, saying how it's the best one since the Dark Knight trilogy. Am I alone? I just thought it was fine.
No, I will tell you this. I will tell you this. So I thought I was the only one. So I like Batman. I will tell you this. So as a movie, just a movie, this is a great movie. And if we picked, if you told me that Save My Movies is pick the 3 best movies, like the movies with the quality of the film, it's the Dark Knight, then it's the Batman Begins, and then it's the Batman 2022. Right?
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, but as a Batman movie, the Penguin was the best part for me, and the Catwoman was pretty good. Robert Pattinson as a Batman, it's only one character. A child could spot that Robert Pattinson as a Bruce Wayne is a Batman because he was gloomy all the time. Like he was, I talked about before, like I like the Batman because Batman has to play 3 characters at once. In the Batman 2022, I had only got one character.
We lost you there, Matt.
So in Batman 2022, I got only one character. Like really, you could very easily deduct that Bruce Wayne in that movie could be Batman, right? Also, I will say Enigma is my favorite villain in the comic book genre, right? Like in the Batman, right? Yeah. Riddler He's my favorite villain in the Batman. When I read the comics, I really like him, and they did the justice to this character, I think, in this movie.
Yep.
But the whole movie was shot in the dark, and
Oh,
if what?
preach. Like it's
Yes,
so dark, and I don't
and
mean
okay,
thematically.
and
I mean
I will say
literally dark.
yeah, and for people who didn't watch the movie, if you watched Game of Thrones, and if you watched the big battle with the White Walkers uh, on the wall, I had that feeling, like
Hmm,
literally that feeling of in the
good
whole movie.
comparison.
And then I watched Jeremy Johns after I watched the movie, and he told basically the same things I'm telling you now. So I'm happy that at least one like the critic that is like known in the community and people love him, is saying the things I think, because I also, as Liam, thought firstly that I'm alone in not loving this movie. I'm not saying it's the best, is the worst Batman ever. I'm just saying it's not near my top three.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to be fair, I've only seen it once. Maybe on a second viewing, I'll enjoy it a lot more. I did watch it very hungover, which probably didn't help. I'm being completely honest, but I found it so dark, and I don't mean, like I said earlier, I don't mean in terms of the themes. I just mean the way it was shot. I couldn't see what was happening. It was so darkly shot the whole way through, which didn't help my hangover. My favorite bit of the movie was Riddler. I thought his performance was really good. I think he stole it from Batman. I was much more interested in what he was doing than what Robert Pattinson's Batman was doing. I liked Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman as well. She was a nice addition. Um, but I did not really care for Batman in this. I liked Andy Serkis as Alfred, and I kind of liked the sort of history of that. But just weren't for me. Ben, did you have something to add?
Yes, I have a question. Does Catwoman's suit improve? Like I saw the thing and it looks like she just has a balaclava on, which is not
it's a different take.
really.
So
Yeah,
I,
it's a different take, more acceptable
realistic.
for these times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was fine. It works in the movie. I think Catwoman was one of the better parts of the movie.
Yes,
But for me,
and
the Riddler was my favorite bit. I thought he was
yeah,
really good.
and the
Um,
penguin. I will just say, Will Ferrell as a penguin.
Colin
Wow.
Farrell, Colin
Yeah,
Farrell, not Will.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Colin
Yeah.
Farrell as a penguin. Wow. I didn't expect this.
Yeah, he was very good. And to be fair, although I didn't love it, I'm still excited to watch the sequel. So I liked the film, I just didn't love it, and it's nowhere near the top three. But that being said, we've now got to figure out our final movie because we have saved two. We have Dark Knight, we have Batman Begins, and the ones I've left on the board, we at least had one pick for. Now, I think I would rather try and debate Lego Batman over Batman Returns, and it only has one honorable mention. So I'm quite happy to get rid of that if you two are,
Hmm.
and then maybe we can look at the remaining four because it's only got one honorable mention, and the others are all at least on someone's list, and there's two honorable mentions to Batman v Superman. So I think it needs to be considered.
Uh,
But I'm going to get
I
rid of
will.
Batman
I
Returns.
will tell you right now, Liam. You can get rid of Lego Batman. I think that with me and Ben, there is no way Lego Batman is getting through.
But I can't. I just
I mean,
struggle to fight for
okay.
any of them others.
Before we get rid of Lego Batman, I will say I'll give up on Batman Forever and fight for Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to be fair though, Ben. I am much more team Batman Forever than Batman and Robin. I cannot have that on this list. I will lose my. I can live with Forever being one. If Batman and Robin makes this list, I will never do a show again. I will quit the
Matt
show.
has both joined and killed the show in one.
I cannot have Batman and Robin be one of these movies saved. Like I
I
will
will just
just.
say
Okay.
I'm happy that Batman and Robin is apparently more acceptable than Liam's third pick Lego movie Batman. And
I'm sorry, it's a better Batman
Okay,
movie.
I will
It's not
give
a
up that
better
Lego
movie,
Batman
but,
in exchange for getting rid of Batman and Robin. I will happily debate
Okay.
Batman v Superman and Batman Forever, but I
no,
cannot have
okay.
Robin on this list.
I think that consensus will be this, and I think that we all will be happy with this. Maybe Leon won't, but I'm in the same boat as Ben, so I'm willing to get rid of Batman and Robin and save Batman v Superman.
Okay.
If he's willing to get rid of Batman Forever and save Batman v Superman, and then that can be our three.
I struggle with saving Batman v Superman because it's a very flawed movie, and I think that the ones on the forgotten list are all better than Batman v Superman at the moment.
So I am with Ben, and I will argue for Batman v Superman with him if he's okay with it. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Okay, let's get rid of Batman and Robin Forever then, and then we're left with Lego and Batman v Superman. Is that
wait? You think you think you will convince one of us to
okay?
put...
Okay.
Okay.
Can we all agree we get rid of Batman and Robin? Because I can't.
Yes.
The fact it's still there is freaking me out.
Now
Yes.
you have to get rid of Batman Forever if you get rid of Batman and Robin.
Do you mean Lego Batman?
No. Batman v Forever. That's my deal with Ben. So
Yeah.
he will.
Okay.
He
Okay.
hates
So we get-
Batman Forever more than he hates Lego Batman.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I'm cool with that. So we're left with these two to debate. So these go over to Forgotten, and then we've got we have Batman v Superman and Lego Batman as debate. Okay. And I know I'm going to struggle to get this on because it feels like 2 against 1 here. But
It
Lego
is.
Batman is such a better movie than Batman v Superman.
Okay, I will say this. At least Batman v Superman was DC movie, only with DC characters.
The thing is, I feel like because it's Lego and it has parts involved with it, you're one of the best depictions of Bruce Wayne in the Batman movie. Like genuinely, it depicts Bruce Wayne and his struggles better than I'd say 80% of the films on this list.
It's not a proper Batman movie. Like, we are debating the best Batman movies. Literally, it's not. It's good animated movie, like to make you laugh and feel good when Avada Kedavra is thrown at Batman, right?
Batman v Superman is half Superman's movie.
But it's at least in the same universe, proper one. At least doesn't piss on a proper on a proper world building.
So, as a kind of impartial judge here, because I'm going to be impartial here, let's say we take out the third act of Lego Batman with the Avada Kedavra and all that stuff, and we take out the third act of Batman v Superman.
Okay.
Which one would you prefer?
Batman
Lego, 100%. Like the first, I'll be so bored watching that in Batman v Superman. Like nothing happens. Like the first 10 minutes is brilliant, and after that, it's just Lex Luthor being super strange and weird for 30 minutes.
So, I would disagree with you that Lex Luthor, that it's just about Lex Luthor being weird. I know Lex Luthor is being weird, but the only reason why I would disagree with you is because it's also like it's an introduction to the Justice League for someone who,
and have that turn
for
out.
the casual fan.
Oh, sorry. Snyder Cut of the Justice League is one of the best movies last year.
I agree. The Snyder Cut was good, but the theatrical release was awful. But that's another story. All right. Do you know what,
So-
guys?
So
I'm
if we save Batman v Superman Snyder cut, would you be more comfortable with that?
so. I feel like the Snyder Cut in Justice League is a significant improvement. I actually like the Snyder Cut of Justice League compared to the theatrical release Justice League. I don't, although I agree it is better in Batman v Superman, I still think, even with the Snyder Cut, it's still quite a weak movie with lots of flaws overall.
Sorry, Liam, but I think that the two of your co-hosts will outrank you on this one, and you will have to live with Batman v Superman on the same list.
I tell you what, I had my top 2 movies make the list. I can live with. It's just. I'm just struggling that third one is Batman v Superman. I'd rather it be something else, like Batman 1989, Dark Knight Rises, the 22 Batman, Batman Returns. Any of them I feel like are better than Batman v Superman, and that's why it's hard for me to accept that. I'm gonna have to
I
let
would
that
be
on the
comfortable
list.
with Batman 1989 making the list.
We
I
can't
would-
just grab a random one though, because no one picked it. So
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna
I
have
would
to
also
concede.
be comfortable with it, but from what we picked, sorry, I would
Yeah, we have to
much
go with
more.
the rules are the rules. We have to go with what we picked, which
So-
means this is so painful for me. It's so it's not even a good movie and it's saved. Oh my god. Okay, Batman v
Sorry, Internet.
Superman. It's saved. How is it saved? Oh my god.
I think the show
Oh.
may be cancelled after this, and I don't mean it in a. I think it may be like bad cancelled, like Twitter cancelled.
Oh god. Oh god. Okay, here it is. So everyone, whew, we've done it. I'm struggling with this because it's making me feel a bit sick what we've saved, but I'm gonna have to live with it. It is a team effort. Okay, save movies, Batman edition. In third place. In third place, we have Batman v Superman. How it's on the list, I will never understand, but Matt and Ben have made it happen, and I'm going to have to live with that and have nightmares to sleep. But it is what it is. It's on the list. Number 2, which I'm really happy with, and we all agreed, Batman Begins, Christopher Nolan's start of his trilogy. Brilliant movie. And of course, number 1, it couldn't have been anything else. If you hadn't put this in your list, guys, I swear to God, I would have just like banned You're a Schmoe from ever producing content again. I would have reported it, all of the above. But we have The Dark Knight, which means our saved movies, Batman edition, are The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and Batman v Superman. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, was super stressful, but a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed doing that, despite the fact I have to live with Batman v Superman being one of the saved movies. So that wraps it up for this show. Thank you so much, Matt and Ben, for joining me, despite the fact I disagreed with your picks. I very much appreciate you going on this ride with me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. As ever, please subscribe to our channel, You're a Schmoe. Save My Movies, we're going to hope to do every 2 weeks. We had a bit of a delay last week just because of things come up, but we're hoping to do it fortnightly. If you have any suggestions or ideas for topics you would like to do, if you would like to be involved and do a Save My Movies, get in touch. I'm very open to opening this up to our fans, and I'd be really keen to get new faces and new ideas on this show. So let me know if you are interested. Please check out our previous ones. We have now done video games and Pixar, and this is our third being Batman. And check out You're a Schmoe on our channel, the Schmoedown European-based and South African-based after show of the Schmoedown, which is 8 p.m. UK time every Sunday, and 12 in America, right, Ben? You know this
12
better
p.m.
than me.
Pacific.
Thank you very much. That wraps it up for our show. Thanks again for watching. If you agree, put it in the comments. If you disagree, put it in the comments. I'm sure you will. And I want to hear that you agreed with me and that Matt and Ben suck. but that's okay. I'm just joking. They're cool. They're cool guys, really. Thanks again, Matt. Thanks again, Ben. You can find us on Twitter at Euroschmoe, and we shall see you in a few weeks for our next Save My Movies. Thank you, everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Batman v Superman.